or Islam, which makes more sense? Well, let me draw your attention to the state of affairs in the Islamic world today and see if that makes sense. I watched the SBS news the other day. The first news item was about violence in Syria. The next news item was about bombings in Iraq. The next item was about the killings in Afghanistan. The fourth item was about the violence in Egypt. My opponents will argue that Islam makes sense. Well, I wish them luck. The fact that Islam is false would not matter that much if it was not so harmful. So this is the second major reason that Islam does not make sense. It does not do Muslims any good. Knowledge under Islam is haram, or is forbidden. This does not make sense. But it's actually worse than that.
Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers, sisters and friends, I hope what I'm going to say now is not taking out of my time, because I follow an ethical tradition, and that ethical tradition is when you intellectually engage with others, you can't lie. So I'm very close to walking out, but I'm not, because I want to respect all of you. I want to ask Mr. Perkins a question. You said knowledge is haram in Islam. I want you to give me the proof. You said knowledge is haram, forbidden in Islam. I want textual proof from the Quran or the Sunnah, the prophetic traditions. If you don't do that, either admit you're lying or you're misinformed. You're a doctor, you're an academic, to come here, all types of knowledge. To come here and to actually spew lies is unethical, it's demeaning, it's disrespectful, and it just shows bad on the atheist tradition.
Okay.
So please give me evidence why knowledge is haram in the Islamic tradition.
What I said was...
You said knowledge was haram?
Yes.
And if you're wrong, I want an apology. It is very friendly. I'm just trying to teach people manners.
What I was referring to,
Yes, sir.
were the teachings of Al-Ghazali.
And he said knowledge was haram.
What he said was that reason and...
I read a book by Al-Ghazali.
Okay, what I said that he said was,
Okay.
reason and rationality are useless and should be condemned. Okay, now if I have misinterpreted the word haram, perhaps I am incorrect in that. But what I meant by that was just what I said here, that reason and rationality is condemned in Islam. That's what I meant.
Okay, that's a lie.
Well, that is what...
Have you read the works of Al-Ghazali? Name me one book he wrote. Just one book.
I believe he wrote The Incoherence of the Prophets.
No, it's called The Incoherence of the Philosophers.
Sorry.
This is exactly my point. I'm going to start my presentation. Thank you very much. This is exactly my point. He probably hasn't even read the book, because if you read Tahafut al-Falasifa, The Incoherence of the Philosophers, you see it's full of reason and rationality. So from this perspective, I mean, shall we continue? I mean, I'm going to give everybody the respect, because they spent the evening to spend with us.
The evidence. Look at the Muslim world today.
Yes.
I won't interrupt.
But that's quite interesting, because, you know, let's jump on the bandwagon, because if we were in Islamic Spain a few hundred years ago, you'd be saying the opposite. You'd be saying, look at the atheists, look at Europe, they're all dark, and they're in a medieval dark quagmire of anti-rationality. But look at Islamic Spain, as Professor Thomas Arnold said, that it was Muslim Spain that facilitated the Renaissance and the Enlightenment for Europe. So this is a historical fallacy that you're talking about. Let's talk about the mainstream academia. They consider the Quran as a very intrusive text, and wants to impose itself on the inner dimensions of man. But the way it tries to impose itself is by positively engaging with your intellect and with your psychological disposition. And the way the Quran achieves this is by asking profound questions. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. And in themselves, do they not reflect? أَوَلَمْ يَتَفَكَّرُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ. Do they not ponder within themselves? وَكَذَلِكَ نُفَصِّلُ الْآيَاتِ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. And thus do explain our signs and evidences for those who reflect. The Arabic word يَتَفَكَّرُونَ, do you know what it means? It doesn't mean just reflect. Don't just go to Google and pick things about Ali Ghazali that is a lie. Don't go to Google and say knowledge is haram. Don't use Google as your master and your sheikh and your authority. We don't want Googleisms anymore. We want nuanced discussion. Rather, what the Quran is saying, the thing that you're reflecting upon, you must inquire deeply about its implications. Be people of depth, not of Google. Yeah? Don't do Google and internet scholarship. Be a proper intellectual, okay? So,